Alright guys, welcome back to What If Piccolo was the main character. I'm enjoying this series, I hope you're enjoying it too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. With all that being said, let's get to it. It's been months since Goku unlocked Super Saiyan and defeated Frieza. Piccolo has been training like he's never trained before. Just like Vegeta, Piccolo's strength has been growing quite a bit, and he wished he could have defeated Frieza on his own. Although he was glad he was there, and he was glad he got the fight with Goku. Piccolo knew he could feel a great strength within him. Ever since his potential was unlocked, he had a strength hidden deep inside of him. He could feel it, but he couldn't get to it no matter how hard he trained. Eventually, however, Piccolo and everyone else would feel a massive power coming towards them. It felt like Frieza and someone else. Vegeta would look up and say, "It can't be. His father's here." Piccolo would ask curiously, "His father?" "Yeah, Frieza has a father. His name is King Cold." Piccolo's been training like hell, and he's gotten a lot stronger. But he doesn't know if he'd take on Frieza and his father. But he doesn't care. Piccolo's gonna fight to save his planet. If that planet is Namek, if that planet is Earth, if that planet was some other planet, he wouldn't care. If he's on a planet, he's gonna fight to save it. Piccolo will not let Frieza do this again. He thought Frieza died. Frieza was the man who tortured his people, who murdered his people, who committed genocide on his own race. Piccolo didn't really know his race, but he still was proud to be a Namekian. He was gonna make him pay. To be honest, part of him was glad he was still alive, because that means Piccolo can get revenge. Eventually, Frieza's spaceship would land, and Frieza and his men would come out. As they all came out, Piccolo would arrive, but so would Trunks. Trunks would look at Piccolo, curious. He didn't know he was this strong. After all, he could help quite a bit here, but he's not really needed. Trunks would say, "Hey, I appreciate the help, but you're not needed here." Piccolo would say, "I don't know you, and I'm fighting to avenge my race." Piccolo would do Kaioken, getting rid of all the soldiers quick and punching Frieza away. Frieza would look at him and say, "Oh, green man, you think you can deal with me?" Trunks would decide to take care of King Cold. "Alright, Papa, your battle's with me." King Cold would look at him and say, "Oh, an Earthling, you think you can deal with me?" Trunks would smirk and say, "I'm not an Earthling," as he would turn Super Saiyan. Piccolo would look back with Frieza, as they both would be shocked, seeing this yellow glow. Frieza would look at Trunks angry, as he would ignore Piccolo entirely, flying straight towards him, charging a massive death ball. As Frieza would look down at Trunks saying, "You're gonna die, you're gonna die!" throwing it right into his face. As it began to sink, he flew down. Alright, now let's deal with the green man. But as he turned around, he then heard a noise. He looked back and saw the death ball was rising more and more, as Trunks simply just threw it up into the sky. This shocked Frieza and King Cold. Frieza was angered that he would do this. That he could do this. How can a monkey surpass him? How can a monkey be this strong? But then a death beam went straight through Frieza's skull, killing him. Piccolo said, "You should have paid attention to me." King Cold looked at him, angry and annoyed that he didn't pay attention to the Namekian. King Cold would then charge at Piccolo, as Piccolo would block it and use his Kaioken to fight back. Trunks would smile, impressed. Piccolo killed Frieza. It's not even that far into the timeline, and he's already doing amazing things. Suddenly, Trunks would land and cut off King Cold's chest, killing him. As Trunks would walk to Piccolo, he would say, "Good job. I have a message for you and Goku." Let's wait for him to arrive. Things would then play out like in canon until Goku would land. Then Trunks would explain everything to him. It seems a heart virus killed Goku, but there was also a virus that infected Piccolo. This virus killed them both. Without any Dragon Balls, without Goku or Piccolo, they were no match for the androids. So he gave them both heart medicine that they both decided to take. As this happened, a couple years would pass. They would all train and get ready for the androids. Things would play like in canon until 17 and 18 were released. After their release, Vegeta would fight 18 like in canon, but Piccolo would fight 17, using his Kaioken to push him further than he did in our timeline. However, even with the Kaioken, 17 would still beat him into the ground. That's impressive. I didn't know you had that technique. We knew Goku did too. And that yellow hair technique's fun. Come back and fight us again sometime. 17 and 18 then left. As Piccolo would then get healed. He would get up. He knew what he had to do. There was something he could do. The only thing he could do. With this Kaioken and with this new power-up, he could easily defeat them all. Piccolo would then fly over to the lookout, as he would go over to Kami, saying, "You know it's time." Kami would look at him and say, "No, they're not like the others," and they would begin to argue, like they did in canon. Piccolo wanted this, and even the nail part of him wanted this. He needed to get stronger, he needed to get better, and if he had to give up part of himself to do it, so be it. He'll do whatever it takes to protect his planet. And with this power-up, he can easily win. He knew it. Kami would then begin to sense Cell, as he sensed this new threat was even worse than the last. Kami would look at him and say, I don't want to lose my body. I don't want to lose myself in you, okay? I know it's selfish, but... Kami would then sigh as he looked down. But I guess I do. You surpassed me a long time ago. It's only fair that I man up and do what's right. Kami would then sigh, as Piccolo looked at Kami and then felt bad. He put his hand on his shoulder and said, Hey, you'll always be alive deep inside me, and I'll never forget what you've done. Kami would then look at him and say, Piccolo, since the day you were born, I was wrong about you. I assumed you were gonna be just like your father, pure evil, my evil half that would destroy me and take over this world. However, look at yourself now. You've grown quite a bit, and you've become a great person. I am proud to become one with you. Piccolo would then smile. As Kami and Piccolo then fused, they would fly down. After this, things would go normally like in canon. True, Piccolo would be a lot stronger with the Kaioken and his extra training, and the fact that he's the main character, the story would make him stronger himself, but Imperfect Cell would still escape. So, we cut to when Piccolo fights 17. As 17 and 18 would both arrive at Kame's house, they would demand to have Goku out there. They would demand to kill him. Piccolo would smirk and say, I don't think so. The only ones dying are you two. 17 would look at him and say, oh yeah? We'll see about that. Piccolo and 17 would then arrive at an island. As 18 would agree not to get involved, 17 and Piccolo would both begin the battle. At first, they're completely evenly matched. This shocked 17. That's impossible. How could this happen? Blow after blow, punch after punch. But Piccolo had the Kaioken, and Piccolo had another form he has not awoken yet. As Piccolo and 17 both begin the battle, eventually he would launch a Ki Blast after Ki Blast after Ki Blast. But each time he launched it, 17 simply dodged it. 17 wouldn't even move, as Piccolo wasn't even hitting him. 17 would say, are you even trying to hit me? Piccolo would say, no. What the hell do you mean, no? As then 17 would look around and see all the Ki Blasts around him. 17 would say, oh shit. As then Piccolo would say, Kaioken times 30, and push all the beams straight at him. 17 wouldn't be able to get the barrier up in time with Piccolo's Kaioken, and it would completely blow up 17, destroying him. Only chunks of his flesh and metal survived. Imperfect Cell would show up. As he would look down, he would see 17's destroyed body. He would see what was left and be horrified. Cell realized he could never be perfect now. Cell would begin to cry and scream like a baby throwing a temper tantrum. As he looked around, he saw 18 charging at Piccolo, about to get her revenge, beating Piccolo up. As Imperfect Cell would sneak up behind her and absorb her, becoming semi-perfect. Semi-Perfect Cell would look at them both. I may not be perfect. I may never be perfect. But I will get my revenge on you, Piccolo. I will kill you. As Semi-Perfect Cell got angrier and angrier, he began to charge a Ki Blast, about to blow up the entire planet. But then Tien showed up and did Tien Ko, Tri-Beam Ha, Tri-Beam Ha, and managed to hold him off until Vegeta can show up. As Vegeta showed up, Imperfect Cell would fight Vegeta, but Imperfect Cell would be on the back foot. And with no one to absorb, he would be destroyed. Piccolo saved the day. Piccolo destroyed 17 and stopped Cell from becoming perfect. Thanks to Piccolo, the planet was saved. However, Piccolo realized that he needed something new, that he needed to get stronger, so he went to go train in the Time Chamber, with Dende as the new guardian. As Piccolo went into the Time Chamber, he then began to train like he never trained before. He began to push himself for hours on end, then months on end, but nothing happened, no matter how hard he trained. Sure, he got stronger, but his power wasn't limit-breaking. But suddenly, as he screamed, his body began to push itself more and more and more, and his skin turned yellow. When his power was unawoken on Namek, part of this form was brought out, just enough to reach it through hard work and training. As suddenly Piccolo turned yellow, he looked around, realizing his new body, his new form, and realizing how strong he really is. With this new form, Piccolo now is the strongest in the group. And that's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think of the video down below. Peace out, yo.